Martial arts in New York could be reaching the final round. The Senate passed the bill 42-18, but the Assembly, Speaker Sheldon Silver says he doesn't know how much support the measure actually has over there in that chamber. Advocates who say fights could bring in millions of dollars for the state are not quite ready to tap out just yet. Joining me now is the UFC Vice President of Regulatory Affairs, Mark Ratner. Mr. Ratner, thanks for coming back to Capitol tonight.
Good afternoon, Ms. Liz. Happy to be back with you again.
So, okay, you did quite well in the Senate. In the Assembly, it's not looking fantastic in terms of getting the bill to the floor, but you believe you have sufficient support to pass, is that correct?
I'm cautiously optimistic. We got through the Tourism Committee. I believe the vote was 16 or 17-3. That's a very important committee. Then we went to Codes yesterday and got through there 17-3. There's an Assemblyman by the name of Dean Murray who has a letter of support from 60 Assemblymen, so when I hear there's not widespread support for this bill, I find that farcical. We do have support.
So, but the problem is, of course, that at this late in the game, the agenda is controlled by the Speaker, Sheldon Silver, and he seems to be reluctant to put not to put too fine a point on it. And why do you believe that is?
Well, Ways and Means, I think they're meeting in the next couple of days, and there is no reason for them not to put the bill on the floor. All we want is a vote up or down. So we're pushing for that very, very strongly. We want to have the vote by the Assembly.
Right.
There's no reason for them not to have it.
Okay, but so what do you think the problem is exactly? If in fact there is some kind of holdup or reluctance that we're hearing about, what is it caused by?
We have to register as lobbyists here when we come to the state of New York.
Sure.
There's only 2 lobbyists that have lobbied for the bill of mixed martial arts, or who've signed up for lobbyists. One is the UFC, ZUFA, LLC, and one is the union Unite Here. Now, there is no reason for them to even be involved here. All we're doing is bringing business to union hotels, union arenas. It's just nonsensical. There is a problem in Nevada, which should have nothing to do with mixed martial arts.
What is that problem in Nevada exactly?
Stations Casino is in part owned by the Fertitta family, as is the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
I see. So what we're saying here is that you believe that we are seeing a local issue that's playing out in Nevada, some kind of union casino fight out in Nevada, in which the UFC and this casino share an entity. That's actually blocking things in New York? That's what you believe?
I feel that very strongly. We have an adage in Las Vegas, what happens here stays here. Obviously, this union somehow got to New York, which I don't understand.
Well, Unite Here is, of course, a pretty powerful union. New York continues to be a pretty powerful union state. Also, the hotel workers, who I believe are allies of Unite Here, are quite powerful in Las Vegas. I mean, that's one of the states where unionization is growing fairly quickly, isn't it?
No, that's correct. And all we're saying is, boy, we're going to fill up the hotels for the union workers. We're going to have just everything possible. The Madison Square Garden is the most unionized arena. We're going to go there if it's passed. Wherever we go in the world, they're always union. We just went to Toronto, where we had to hang up all kinds of screens and electrical stuff. We spent over $1 million in union fees in Toronto. So we're certainly willing to pay the fee.
Remind me again how much money is at stake here.
Well, we did 2 HRA studies, one in Buffalo. It was about $5 million economic impact, and in New York City it was between 12 and 14 million. So those are pretty substantial. Yeah,
pretty big. What does the second floor, that would be the governor's office, say? Have you tried them yet?
We believe if the bill gets from the Assembly passed, that the governor will sign it.
Interesting. Okay, well, so the Assembly is your final hurdle. It used to be that it was Assemblyman Riley, I thought, who was your biggest problem. You no longer feel that way?
Oh, absolutely. He has made his bones, so to speak, on arguing against MMA and the UFC. That's fine. I respectfully disagree with everything he says. Some of his arguments make no sense, but that's his right to do it.
Well, this is actually a pretty interesting issue here. We'll be digging a little bit deeper into it, but it's also a little curious. But also, you know, it's the last week in Albany, so stranger things have happened. You might yet have life left in your effort.
Well, if it was boxing, we'd say we've been knocked down, but we've got up and we're still fighting.
Well, Mr. Ratner, I want to thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be checking in with you again.
All right, Miss Liz, and we'll invite you to our first fight here.
Can't wait.